Democracy is at a moment of crisis. There's a perfect storm brewing against democracy and has been for some time. We have four different stages to this. First off, there's an international crisis of democracy. I talk about this in the Despot's Accomplice, showing that there's been an 11-year decline in democracy around the world while authoritarian leaders are on the march, and that Western foreign policy is implicated in this, partly by getting in bed with groups like Saudi Arabia and other despotic regimes for short-term geostrategic interests, and partly because they set the bar too low with a lot of other countries around the world where they basically give countries a free pass and turn the other way. Then there's also the crisis of inequality at home. So you have the issue that people believe that democracy has failed them in the West. This has happened because we have the basic fact that standards of living used to double for the average voter every 25 years or so. This happened from 1935 to 1960 and again from 1960 to 1985. Now, standard of livings have flatlined, and people are blaming politicians rightly for the fact that the promise of democracy is no longer delivering for them. That's happening at the same time that the future of democracy is at stake because of new threats like fake news, misinformation, and the fact that people don't fundamentally inhabit the same realities anymore because of extreme partisan polarization. Now, we have a serious problem in the state of global democracy because there's a fundamental and simple truth out there that there are four groups that can shape the world. There's Russia, there's China, there's the US, and there's the United Kingdom and the EU. And unfortunately, Russia and China are on one side, the US and the EU are on the other, and all of them are in disarray except for China and Russia. While the US deals with Trump and Trump decides to turn his back on democracy, eliminate the word from the mission statement of the State Department, the UK is preoccupied with Brexit, the EU is in disarray with problems like Poland and Hungary and also with Brexit. So this has given rise to an opening for Russia and China to shape the world much more in their image. And unfortunately, as the West turns its back away from democracy abroad to deal with problems of democracy at home, it's going to be a much bleaker future for many people, and there may be many more who live under authoritarian strongmen in the coming years.